All right, so here we are in Adobe Illustrator 2026, and we're going to focus on the blend tool in this video. So the blend tool is not brand new. It's not something that is that you have to update to 2026 to get. It's been around for a few years now. And if we look over in the toolbar here, and I'm using the Getting Started toolbar, we can find the blend tool under Modify. So it's this little tool right here. And basically what the tool does is it lets you take multiple shapes, so at least two, and then create a blend transition between them. It will blend shape, color, scale, and so on. So what if you're not using this particular toolbar, right? So you can always edit your toolbar, and up inside the menu here, you can change to the advanced or the basic toolbar if you have Getting Started selected. And if you want to select Getting Started, all you got to do is choose it from here. So the blend tool can be found under the Modify section if you are editing your toolbar. So it's located right here. And notice it does have a shortcut of W. So if I click W on my keyboard or choose the blend tool from the toolbar, the blend tool becomes active. So what I can do here, notice there's no selection under properties, but I can go into tool options right here. And this is going to allow me to do some blend options before I even create the blend object. So I can choose smooth color. I can specify the number of steps between these two objects or the distance, right? And then we've got orientation, which aligns either to page or path for a lot of these different options here. So that's just fine. I'm not going to make any changes. And how you use the blend tool is you just select your shapes. So I've got two elements here. They're both an ellipse of different colors and different sizes, different positions on the canvas, the artboard. So I'm going to click this guy here. And unfortunately, there's no real indicator that you've already clicked on an object when you're creating a blend with this tool. That would be very helpful. And then I'll click here. Notice it does the cursor, the icon of the blend tool. It does get a little plus sign when you roll over a new object that indicates that you're adding to the blend. So if I click now, there we go. I've got my little blend. He's all set up. And you can see there are some interesting things here to do with the blend itself. So one of those things is that we have each of the objects as part of this blend object here inside of our layers. And if we expand that, we can see that the blend object contains our original two objects plus a path that connects them both. And the really cool thing about that is that this path is completely malleable. So if I go ahead and say like, hey, I'm going to select this particular anchor point along the path, I can then shift that and completely change how my blend functions. In addition to that, of course, I can go in and convert my anchor point to smooth, and then I get my anchor point handles, my Bezier handles here, and I can create Bezier curves in order to further modify the appearance of this blend object. All right, so those are some things that we can do. Let's select the blend in its entirety once again. And yeah, there's lots of different neat things you can do with the blend itself. You can, of course, if you want to, if you go in here, like we could change the appearance of this blend. So if I make this a sage green, then there we go. We've got that. And of course, we can change the object itself using transforms here. Oh, I've got a little kitty object in the background that I've been playing with. That's what that is. And we can change any of the aspects, right, of these shapes that we want to. So there we go. whatever we need to do to get the blend that we really need for what we're trying to achieve here, right? Yeah, and that's the basics of the blend tool. Of course, we can go into our quick options down here and notice that we have quick actions rather. And notice we have blend options. So we can always, if we have our blend object selected, we can go into our blend options and you can see that we can change all the different options here that we have. When we originally selected the tool and went into our tool options. So if I want specified steps to be something like 5, then we can see it's made 5 duplicates between our 2 objects. So we've got our objects on the end and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in between. Of course, the fewer objects you have, the more visible it's going to be that your different objects here. And the orientation, of course, is going to change. So this little Pac-Man looking object here, right now it's facing straight that way. But if we align it to path, then it adjusts to the path that we curved. It doesn't really matter much in this particular case. We can also say specified distance. So this would be every 4 pixels. We could say every 50 pixels. And we get the same kind of effect. 120 and so on. That's pretty bad. So the default was 4, and that's pretty smooth. You can see some banding in here, or what you would call banding if this was a gradient, which it isn't, of course. Let's go to 1 pixel. And there we go. Nice and smooth. I don't think you can get any smoother than 1 pixel, really. But, no, you can. You can go down to 0.1 points. So, and I said pixel. My mistake. These are points, not pixels. And smooth color is just going to make sure that the color transition is very smooth for you. All right. Well, I think that's pretty good overview of the blend tool inside of Illustrator.